I just watched Presents. It is a 2024 release movie, but technically it is a 2025 theatrical release officially. It was just shown at film festivals. Presents, directed by Steven Soderbergh, stars Lucy Liu, Julia Fox, and Chris Sullivan. I just have to say, wow, what a movie this is. Unfortunately, this movie has been burdened by horrible marketing because it markets itself as a really scary movie when this movie has like nothing scary in it. It's just a psychological drama. It's like a marriage story. It's really intense in terms of character dialogue and getting all wrapped up in this very practical world. Also, you are the ghost in this movie. It is amazing. I love that. It is just so genius. I can't begin to describe the level of IQ that brings. I just can't. You should go watch this movie, and this is not a spoiler-free review. This movie is just, it's raw. This movie is so raw, and it feels so real because you don't feel sad, you don't feel tense. It just feels like a slice of life. Like this movie is entirely natural, and I love that. Like you don't get that feeling in movies ever. It's very sparingly. I feel like maybe 5 movies at most every single year come out with a type of storytelling that's like this. And this movie is an allegory against abusive people. Because in the title of the movie, it's called Presence, and it is marketed about that it's about a ghost. They are correct about that. But I don't think the title really means that. So, when Lucy Liu meets a guy, he's friends with her brother in this movie, and that's how he gets to know her. And we don't find out till the end of this movie, this guy is a murderer. He's going to kill all these women using some sort of like synthesized fentanyl, and then like making it into like a screwdriver drink, and then suffocating the women while they are drugged. The movie is not light on that subject at all. It shows how abusive a person can be, especially in a relationship. Yeah, this movie treads on topics that are very sensitive, and it is very easy to do wrong, as we have seen in the past on this channel. This is an art film, but it feels very cinematic. It doesn't feel like I'm just going to a modern art museum and I'm looking at something that I don't exactly understand. I knew exactly what I was looking at. The shots, they're not pretty. This movie is not a pretty movie at all. In fact, it just feels like found footage. Literally, the way that this camera right now is framed on me is how this movie was shot. Like, I don't know if they used just straight up an iPhone to make this movie happen, but it was just authentic. That raw, authentic, natural. Those are words I'm describing this movie. I feel like this movie is going to be a hit or a miss for a lot of people, and it hit home for me. I think this movie resonates with certain people in their lives, and I know a couple people that have experienced a similar life story that are related to not just the main girl and about that like abusive relationship, but like with the family, the father, the mother, and the brother. I know some bad people in this world, like the guy that is the murderer. I don't know like murderers. That sounds really bad. I should honestly get some PR training. I really love the ghost in this movie because you are the ghost technically. I mean, by definition, you are a female in this movie because the ghost is one of the girls that got killed by that blonde person. I don't know his name. I don't remember any names in this movie at all. So for 98% of this movie, I felt fine. Like, I didn't feel really a single emotion. Like, I mean, there was moments where I was like, oh my gosh, that happened. Like, just like a moment of shock, and then just like went away immediately. But the ending The ending ripped my guts out. I was so emotional. I wanted to cry. And just thinking about it right now, I'm actually getting a little teary-eyed again because it just is so... It's a little out of left field. Like, in a good way. It just felt like that action that was taken was a choice. It wasn't necessary, but it still happened. You don't like the brother at all in this movie. Like, it just screams like, I am self-centered. I only care about myself. Like, that's the type of character he is. But he makes one choice to save his sister from the murderer. That's the part that just kills me in this movie because it's beautiful. It's just so beautifully written. The soundtrack, it's amazing. Like the cinematography, you get used to it. It's authentic. The cinematography is so authentic. There's not much to talk about in this movie. I mean, it's an hour and 25 minutes. But it feels longer than that, which could mean a good or a bad thing depending on who you ask. So I'm just going to leave it with that. I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. I really think this is a very solid entry into 2025. My last note is it's going to be criminal that this movie is not going to get any sort of representation into the Oscars or Golden Globes. If you are watching this video, which hopefully maybe we'll have one viewer sometime, I really recommend you go see this movie because it is so different. And it's okay if you don't like this movie, but at least you watch something that is different and unique. It's a redefining movie on the ghost genre, not horror, ghost genre. Beautifully crafted, beautifully written. Steven Soderbergh, take my money again.